All right, everybody. We've got the Excelsior gang here. We're going to do our first unboxing of the Shadows of Innistrad set. So, why don't you go ahead and begin, man?
Alright. Cool box art to go along with everything. Nice werewolf art on the front of the first pack. And got, looks like some nice blue in there, not a lot of green. And an Epiphany at the Drown Yard for rare in the pack. It's a nice little factor fiction modular. You have to choose how much you're paying into it. You get one extra card, so it's pretty nice. It's pretty straightforward. We open in packs one at a time, or should we open out of the same box, out of different boxes, keeping them separate? Go ahead, Lisa. Snag a box and open stuff. Any new set mechanics you're all up to date on, or?
No.
No? I think the craziest one would probably be Madness, as it's got a lot of things going on in and amongst it.
Is it new or old?
It is old, but they made a couple of rule modifications specifically to it. Ooh, got an inevitable blob.
Inexorable.
Inexorable. Yes, I'm bad at words apparently today. Which is Delirium, which is a completely different mechanic that is new, and it looks at the number of different types of cards in your graveyard, and then if you have at least 4 of them, then you get extra effects for different resolutions, different activations, depending on what the cards are. Yep. And yeah, all sorts of other things to go with it. Nice little token there for the flip land that comes out. Ooh, getting a double rare pack here. Got a foil Seasons Past, and behind that, with that rather, we have Bygone Bishop, which is one of the new ones that pops out clue tokens.
I would see those.
Well, the clue tokens?
Yeah.
Well, they are a theme within the set, in which they produce they are off the investigate mechanic specifically, but they produce clues, which are artifacts that you pay 2 and sacrifice into your archive. There are a ton of different things within the set that say maybe you sacrifice a clue token, or you get this, or this creature is +1/+1 for each clue token you have, or whenever you sacrifice a clue, do a thing. All sorts of stuff along those lines. And all sorts of things that just have investigate tossed into it. So, all sorts of really good fun stuff. Always watching. It's a really cool enchantment based on the original set. Had a 2-drop enchantment that did just for token creatures, the exact same thing. So it's an always available +1/+1 just for creatures that drop rather than all that.
I'm just doing what you told me to.
Okay.
We're gonna start sorting them as we go, unless you need them.
Are you keeping the 2
Yes.
piles separate?
Yes.
Okay.
Go ahead and throw the
That's
trash on the floor too, so it doesn't get.
Okay.
We'll pick it up later.
Really, really.
But I
It'll be fine. I'll take care of it. But Madness, you actually passed by a really cool. There are a couple of really cool Madness creatures and/or spells. There's a black 3-drop, one that I think you just had in your last pack that's really good for Madness. This one we got the Flame Blade Angel, which can allow you to do 1 damage anytime a source an opponent controls deals damage to you or a permanent you control. But if both you and your opponent have 1 out, they can infinitely kill each other. Or you can infinitely deal damage back and forth to each other, because a permanent you control deals damage to them, and then a permanent they control deals damage to you, and someone has to choose when to stop the carnage.
And the first person's dead. Wouldn't that be
It would
whoever had
depend on
more
whoever
life?
had the most life, but either of them can choose to stop, so it'll be the question of whoever had the least life will take the most damage from it, because they have to choose to stop first. Otherwise they die. Yep. That's it. Madness. Just anytime you discard a card with Madness, regardless of whether or not you're going to utilize it or not, you must exile it from now on. And then the next time that you would, actually, see, Flame Blade Angel. If we both had those out, we'd kill each other.
Wow.
Probably very swiftly. But with Madness, you have to exile it, which makes some very interesting back and forth with things like Jace Vryn's Prodigy, that immediately looks at whether or not a card has, once that card is discarded, whether or not you have so many cards in your discard pile. And because it exiles immediately, Jace will check, and then the Madness trigger of it being exiled, it immediately checks, are you going to pay this cost? Yes or no. If yes, you get to cast that at instant speed, regardless of what kind of card it is. And if no,
I was wondering why, because it costs more, so it seems.
well, you're being forced to discard it either by your opponent or by some other effect, or you don't have 2 blue to cast that counterspell, specifically the one that you're looking at, the Reckless, or Broken, Concentration. Not necessarily one of the ones that's probably going to use. I honestly think there's a black one that is probably going to get more use. It's a 3-drop elite sorcery, but it deals, your opponent loses 3 life and you gain 3 life. And it has a Madness casting cost of 1 black. Corrupted Grafstone.
Yeah.
It's kind of sad that it enters tapped, but the fact that it gives you an immediate
Color.
Yep, and especially with all of the delirium that's going on right now, it's probably going to get some use to get people things out quicker. What do we got here? All sorts of different things. Tormenting Voice, Ravenous Bloodseeker. That guy gets a lot of discard a card, gives him +2 -2 until end of turn. Gets a lot of activations from Madness. An Invocation of Saint Traft. Invocation of Saint Traft is a really good new one. Geist of Saint Traft from the original set had the same casting cost. It was a 2/2 hexproof creature that had the ability that you gain by enchanting the creatures.
Huh.
So, new stuff from the old set kind of carries over.
I was not around when the old set was played. So it's all new to me.
Yeah, but you were around when sets that I was too young to play over. So, back when Mana Burn was a thing. I learned to play when it was Mana Burn. That was some fun stuff. Valious Lieutenant, Human Soldier Extraordinaire. Pumps all the rest of your humans when he enters,
Yeah.
and then gets pumped in turn. Very Captain of the Parish. In the first set, it was a 1-drop human that whenever you played a human got a +1/+1 counter. And that just ties in the extra bonus of then you gain all your humans, gain a +1/+1 that comes out as well. We've got some equipment in this set. That last couple of sets we've had a lot of equipment involvement. It'll be really cool to see. Like this shard of glass that I just raced
Right.
past and can't find now. There it is. And this one specifically is a milling equipment, which is going to be interesting to see. Very Trepanation Blade-esque, but with less milling involved. We got a Silent Discard. He's a Madness cast creature, so if you would be forced to discard him, you can cast him instead of the Madness. And then, at the beginning of each player's upkeep, that player has no cards in hand. You draw a card, you lose 1 life, regardless of whether it's you or your opponent that has no cards in hand.
I haven't done that.
It's alright. I'm gonna pull these out of this box, and you can put them in the box.
Haha.
Take care of them afterwards. Unruly Mob, good reprint. White one? Yep.
From what?
The original Innistrad.
Is it? Okay.
Yep.
Pink with brain. That's cool.
Yep.
Picture.
Crazy good with the. You gotta get right monstrosity.
Somebody wanted the frog.
Monster. Yep. He's a. There's some very interesting interactions with him. I've heard a lot of good things from people in like EDH that want to use him with Life from Alone and dredge out their entire deck.
Huh.
Play a bunch of cards. Very Crucible of Worlds-esque type stuff going on.
Herman's Griffin.
Well, yeah, you really want to torment Crypto Moon, they're in trouble. Sorry. Turning things around. This invasive surgery here is really nasty with delirium. Probably show it to our viewers so they know what I'm talking about. Counters a sorcery spell only, but goes and gets all versions of that from their deck if you have delirium. Really nasty to get rid of some good sorceries. The rare from that pack, Seasons Past, once again. Which gets you different converted mana cost cards from your discard pile.
Needs water.
I do something. I'm all of a sudden. I feel much better after that, but man, I don't
Need
know.
water.
I do indeed. Maybe we can get one in a minute or two.
I forgot to bring this. Have you checked them all out already?
All the cards from the set? Yeah, I did. I definitely looked into them. Checked out the FAQ on it. Addison's, yeah. It's definitely one of the ones you want to cast for Madness, but it exhibits what. It certainly exhibits a lot. There's a lot of cards that have a static cost, and then for your Madness, they gain an X specifically that does the same thing, but you have a different cost for X.
All right, see you tomorrow, Chad. See you later, bud.
It's good stuff. Vessel of Ephemera. Kind of a throwback to the token production of the past, but not anywhere near as potent. Angelic Purge right there. It's a good sorcery card. The fact that it allows you to sacrifice a permanent puts a permanent plus a sorcery into your graveyard at the same time, which helps you get delirium. Really good piece for that. And we get a Cryptolith, right? Creatures we have just can tap for 1 mana of any color.
Wow.
Wow, there I go losing my voice.
You
I'm gonna have to grab some water real quick.
need water. Can you grab him a water, please?
Sorry about that.
No, that's all right. He needs a water.
A
That
water,
one, the one on the
please.
table's mine. I don't think you want my water.
Probably
I don't
not.
have cooties,
If,
but I'm sure you don't want my water.
I mean, especially if I'm coughing like this, probably
I don't want your water.
determines very Michigan weather type stuff. You probably don't want whatever it is that I'm coughing from.
Probably already had it.
Oh, so I got it from you? That would make
You
a
got it
certain
from
amount
Rob.
of sense.
Everyone
Oh,
gets it
wow.
from Rob.
A lot of seasons passed going around. It'll probably get a little bit of play, but
Ooh, I have double.
and you got a Westvale Abbey. There it is. That was the land I was talking about before. Thank you. That produces those clerics. Then if you'll flip it around,
Oh, hey. There you go. Finally. Oh, yeah. Someone was talking about this earlier.
he is
He could
crazy
not
good.
remember what the card was, but was talking about it.
Yep, and the fact that
Wow.
the ability on the other side taps it, the land, but it also untaps after you transform based on the ability at the bottom. So he immediately goes from sacrifice creatures into I'm flipped over and I'm ready to knock some heads together. Crazy good. Kind of a throwback to Elbrus the Binding Blade.
I don't know what that is either.
Was from the original set, and you had to deal damage with the equipment. It was an equipment that you had to deal damage with the creature it was attached to flip it up, and then it became a creature. You know the big black demon-y type,
Right.
Fiery Temper, which is basically a lightning bolt. If you were going to discard it,
It's. Wow.
you would only want to discard.
You'd want to do it for its madness cost.
Yeah, definitely. Don't want to really cast it for 3, though I've seen it done, especially in sealed events. You got an Angel of Deliverance. As an 8-drop, it'll probably may not get some play in standard constructed, but it's definitely a nice delirium piece for
Modern or
EDH probably.
EDH.
It'll get some nice play. There'll definitely be some people who want to drop it and start exiling people's things. Well, if people weren't so obsessed with, indestructible, you didn't have to be so obsessed with exile, right?
Probably.
Ooh, the new Fastlands. The Fastlands specifically, Is that what they're calling that cycle of
Yeah, I saw
lands?
one earlier that was.
Indeed. And we only have them in the ally colors in this set. Which, in the first Innistrad, we got reprints of the... Wow, forgetting the actual term they use all the time. But, like Dragon Skull Summit, that cycle of lands, we got the enemy-colored versions of those, and have only been printed in the Innistrad.
Yeah, it's kind of odd that they didn't do it
And
this
yeah,
time,
so
isn't
they did
it?
ally colors instead of enemy colors, which may have more to do with balancing and trying to make sure that there's not a lot of people taking advantage of opposite colors going around. But you never know. Get Devil Spray around. That's sorcery for 4 1/1 red devils, which is a very interesting card in terms of getting token production in red, which they do usually get elementals, but I like the devils coming out. Very nasty guys.
How about that?
Jawalf's Masterpiece. A nasty 7/7 flyer. Definitely something where you want to have be discarding cards, and the fact that you can discard 3 cards and pay 4 to return them from your graveyard to the battlefield is really nice. It'll probably get some use in some control decks as a, oh, you countered that? Okay, I guess I have to maybe do some other stuff. The issue is the discarding 3 cards at that point, because that makes things less appealing to cards, so probably get cheated out early. And Eerie Interlude and a Startled Awake, double rare pack there to go with it.
Oh.
Eerie Interlude being just exiles them and brings them back at the end step. We had a card like that in Dark Ascension. Unexpectedly adds number. And then Startled Awake. Target player puts the top 13 cards of their graveyard and library into the graveyard. A lot of 13 type stuff.
Nice. Yep.
And then you pay 5 to put it from your graveyard onto the battlefield transformed, and it becomes a 1/1 creature that can't be blocked with a creature with any greater power. And then when it deals combat damage to a player, you return it to its owner's hand, meaning it can attack again. Darby has to get there. Fun stuff.
Yeah.
If you want to throw that trash on the floor, we'll pick it up later. It's real cluttered up there.
From under the floorboards. It's another one of those, you cast it for 3, you get the effect as if you would cast it with Madness for 3. The 3 being the X cost there.
Right. Oh, another one. It's double rare.
Militia Captain. Very good stuff. Goes from a 2/2 for 2 into a scaling, at least a 4/4 when it comes out, because it'll flip on into a 4/4. And then on your end step, it gives you another one, and it keeps getting bigger. It gives you the white and black human clerics that the Westvale Abbey gave you as well. So good stuff. I have got a Forgotten Creation. One of those skulk ones, so you can't block it if you have power greater than it. At the beginning of your upkeep, you may discard all the cards in your hand and draw that many cards if you do. So if you're looking for... Sorry, I'm gonna drink water here. Go ahead. Helps if you're digging for a card, but not necessarily something you're gonna run to unless you're looking to discard a bunch of cards. Great at Delirium Enabler though. Bygone Bishop, Clue Maker Extraordinaire. Looks like a converted mana cost of creatures you cast. If it's 3 or less, you get a clue.
Aha. More of the clues.
Plus, I mean, 2/3 flyer for 3 is pretty good.
Yes. Yes, it is.
That Alms of the Vein, that was what I was talking about. It is a sorcery, and it's going to be a great discard card for 1 black. I gain 3 and you lose 3. Nice stuff. Definitely one once people are looking to madness out, and then get it and engulf the shore. Turn to their owner's hands, all creatures with toughness less than 8 to the number of islands you control. So get some control players very excited.
Asylum visitor.
Yep.
Pulled that one earlier.
He's a nice little madness guy that pops out. Does some work on people. Make sure your hand is full. Especially if your opponent's isn't. Alright. Sorry. We have Survive the Night, some good white stuff going on. Warp Landscape, which is as close to a Evolving Wilds as we get in this set. Pay 2 to sacrifice it. So, not great for searching for land fixing, which they're trying to move away from. Ooh, we get an Anguished Unmaking. That one gets some play. Exile a permanent, lose 3 life.
I like the pictures. I like
Yeah.
the art in those sets. Nice.
That nice Victorian setting lends to some good art. The married couple, because it brings back 2 of them at the same time.
Oh, I see.
You'll notice they're dressed in,
Oh, that's so they are.
yeah, indeed. And rattle chains. When you enter the battlefield, target spirit you control gains hexproof until turn, so you flash him in to protect someone else.
Right.
Nice flash flyer for 2/1. Got a couple of 2-drop 2/1 flyers with flash. Run in the last couple of sets. So maybe someone does something with that. Plays some permission, old blue permission style with some flash in 2-drops and uses them for beats.
Right.
Another Engulf the Shore.
Nice.
Yeah, can't argue with that, especially if, for all your permission, you run out of some options. Let them build up some board and say for 4, I'm going to put them all back.
Right.
Yeah, good stuff. Essence Flux flickers some spirits and gives them +1/+1 counters. Would work probably really well with that 2-drop flash one. Another Season's Past. Not a bad card.
No.
But I would like to see some other mythics, maybe.
Is this, what is that, like the third or fourth one that's been pulled?
Yeah. A lot of Season's Past going around.
Somebody's short them.
Maybe they'll want to buy it from us online.
There you go. Organic creation.
Yep. Toss your hand.
Toss your hand and draw the same amount.
I mean, that would help with the other zombie, the flyer, the 7/7, that you have to discard 3 cards, pay 4, and cast from your graveyard. Or put them on the battlefield from your graveyard. I think they kind of. Hey! Dude, I was just talking about you. Yeah, discard 3 cards and return them from the battlefield.
Right,
From
that's the
graveyard to
second one
battlefield
too.
Indeed.
Wasn't something new.
Indeed.
Brain in the jar.
Yeah. And a foil Westvale Abbey sneaking out behind there.
Look at that.
Not to take away from Braid in a Jar, but that is
It's kinda
one nice shiny card. Yeah, Braid in a Jar is almost feels like a Aether Vial. Aether
Okay.
Vial? Where it gets
Yes.
plus it gets charge counters every time and you can tap it free. It doesn't get the charge counters for free, but the fact that you get to keep dropping things, definitely very similar. And then you can remove this counters to scry that many. So kind of a Jar of Eyeballs plus Aether Vial going together. Doo-doo-doo. Declaration of Stone. It exiles a creature, and then all of them with the same name and then they exile forever, and then they get to investigate because it turns them all to stone. Not terrible, very
get to investigate.
Yep, they get clues for all their creatures.
Okay. Oh.
Ooh.
Okay.
Now here's a nice werewolf. 3/2 fly, 3/2 with haste, and then the traditional werewolf flip. But she specifically, when she's transformed, says whenever a werewolf enters the battlefield under your control, you can transform it, which allows you to immediately drop it on the battlefield and flip them over into their werewolf, their bigger werewolf.
The bigger
form.
werewolf form,
Yep.
right?
Which is
Much faster.
absolutely ridiculous. Because now you're casting spells and flipping them over.
Instead of having to wait.
Nice, nice good werewolves in this set. Prized Amalgam. Got a lot of zombies coming back,
Guys.
and basically got what is a blue zombie creation. A couple of blue zombie creation and black zombie creation guys working together in the storyline to make an amalgam of a zombie and something else. Crazy scientists working together type stuff. Oh, here we go. This is something I did want to talk about. This is a really good combination within the set. We've got a lightning axe here and an Alms of the Vein, which gives you cast lightning axe and you either discard a card or pay 5, which allows you to enable madness on Alms of the Vein to stack 5 damage, 3 loss of life, and 3 gaining life on your end. So they lose 8 total with a combination of those two for 2 mana, and you gain 3 life. Wonder if we may see that in some Rakdos burn decks going in. And I get a brain in the jar. Franklin was just going around right now.
Eerie interlude.
Yep. That exiles your creatures. You can use it in conjunction with a world wipe on your end or a world wipe on their end. And you have an aberrant researcher behind them, which is, for 4, the flip side of Delver of Secrets. Well, Delver of Secrets was a flip card from the original that you cast for 1 blue, and it flipped into a 3/2 flyer.
Okay.
And this one is a 3/2 flyer that flips further, so it's basically a continuation of a card in the first set that flipped into that, and then this flips into a even further insect horror monster. His transformation becomes complete.
One angel. One angel.
Ooh, got a City Prouder.
Angelic fury.
This guy, in addition to needing to be blocked by 2 creatures, you reveal the top card and your opponent can deny it to you, but they take damage equal to its converted mana cost.
Well, I do like the spirits. Have you checked my blue section?
So, you want to make sure you're running into land that way, but otherwise, none other rattle chains, flash fire.
Wow.
Blue? Yep. Yeah, with specifically with Sin Prouder, you want to make sure you have enough land, but they don't deny you your draw entirely, but they can kind of keep you off land if they so choose.
Here's the
Port Town, the blue-white, fast land,
Yeah.
good stuff. Foil land in there. Absent Clue. I mean, in stained glass, but another Epiphany at the Drown Yard. Nice little factor fiction. You'll probably get some play in that blue permission that we were talking about.
I like the art. I like the art this side.
Yeah, it's got some fantastic art going on.
Initial making.
Yep. Unmaking of Avison. She went completely mad. And all sorts of other nice stuff. Scourge Wolf. This guy has double strike as long as you get the delirium trigger. So he goes from first strike to double strike. Which for 2 red, a first striker is nice. Usually that's more of a white flavor going on. And this Pious Evangel initially starts out with the gain a life every time a creature enters, and then once you sacrifice another permanent to transform him into the Wayward Disciple, he becomes a Blood Artist, in the sense where each time another creature eye control dies, specifically eye control dies, so it's not completely Blood Artist, but your opponent loses a life and you gain life. So he switches from just gaining life to a little darker side. Very cool little flip card. We'll see some play in the future, I think. Game Trail.
It's the land time.
Yep. Lands aren't bad. They're good stuff.
The double.
Yep. Nice rare werewolf lady. The haste and then flips into all your werewolves come in transformed. We'll see where werewolves go in this set, whether or not somebody decides to build.
There's
don't
a lot of
play-
players
they'll
excited
build-
about it.
I don't know if we'll get straight up werewolves in standard, but definitely in modern, I think they'll see a huge resurgence with their new stuff. Tireless Tracker, which is one of those clue-based ones. Whenever a land comes into the battlefield, you investigate, so you get a clue. And whenever you sacrifice a clue, it gets a +1/+1 counter. Nasty little 3-drop that'll work with the clues stuff that you're already doing.
And a growl.
Lady. Yep, she's a lady. And there's another, that's an enchantment that'll probably get played in the same vein. Whenever a creature you control dies, you investigate. And then whenever you sacrifice a clue, you get a human soldier. Nice and uncommon that works along the
okay.
same lines, does the same sort of thing with clues.
Cultivator.
Indeed.
Oh, look at that.
Yep, taps for black or green. Then Delirium gives him Death Touch.
Touch. Nice.
Yeah, they're plenty cool clue stuff. This one specifically, if you sacrifice 3 or more clues on your turn, you actually get to just put a card from your hand on the battlefield.
Oh. There you go. What
Which can be do,
Okay.
yeah, which can be done through any process by paying for the clues to be sacrificed, or by just sacrificing them in some other way. Such as Tamio's Journal, which can tap sacrifice 2 clues to go get something, and he just puts it on the battlefield. So that guy with Tamio's Journal, oops, wrong pile, makes for some very powerful plays in the sense that you can go get a card and then put out a creature for free. Then we got another Git Frog monster, Nasty Frog Glade dude that we were talking about
Big
earlier.
frog guy.
Yep. Didn't notice the Death Touch on him.
Yeah.
Just makes him way better.
It does make him better. To the slaughter. Target player sacrifices a creature or planeswalker. That could be an ouch.
Yep. It's nice to make people sacrifice in case, specifically creatures getting indestructible stuff like that. And then if you have Delirium, it does both. And just Soul Swallow. That guy on your end step, on your upkeep, excuse me, as long as you have Delirium, gets bigger every turn.
And he's trained.
And that one's foils, so you really can't go wrong there. This is another one of those clue ones we were talking about. When you sacrifice a clue, gain 3 life. Not the greatest with the 2/4 power and toughness, but not a bad extra stuff for clues type guy. Then we get a Thalia's Lieutenant, like we had before.
Right.
Nice little humans working together.
Huh.
Yep. I mean, you're paying 4 mana into it to get 4 mana out of it.
Yeah.
But the fact that you can do it on multiple turns allows for some more potent ramping, possibly in the future, by setting it up.
More land.
More land.
More of the big land. The fast lands. What is now fast land?
Yep. Fast land is the accepted, well, that is what people are calling them, just because you get the mana immediately as long as you have one out of there. One of the other.
Into play.
Yeah. And got an Nephalia Moondrakes, which you can exile from your graveyard to give your creatures flying until end of turn. Or just when it enters, gives that other creature flying until end of turn.
For
Good
5?
stuff. 7 gives for a 5/5 flyer. Not
7.
fantastic, but
Holy
if you're
crap.
going to be exiling from the graveyard for the 6, it's not great. It's It's not like a mythic rare, but it is. It may get some use somewhere along the way. Probably some EDH, stapley type stuff. More likely in like a blue-green when you're swinging for the win. Another doubles playground. Nice. Elusive Tormentor.
Bunch of double rare packs
Indeed.
in this.
When we get the apparently when we get just a rare flip card, they give it to us in a common spot. So if we get a rare flip card, then we'll just get a basic flip card and a rare flip card instead. So throw some to the ground. The giant slug horror. Morkrut Necropod. Not shouting from the hilltops of his necessary greatness, but 7/7 menace for 6. Fun stuff going along. Not enough salt to deal with him in anywhere. Another Sin Prouder.
Confirm suspicions.
It's not the greatest counterspell, but if you're,
No, it is not.
I mean, if you're looking for clues, it'll get some use for you.
Yeah.
It puts out some clues. But it's a little expensive when I want to counter something. I'm really
Looking for speed.
yeah. Yep. I don't want to have to wait to pay 5 for that
5
on a
turns.
turn when I don't have 5 mana. Indeed.
It's pricey.
Odric Lunarch Marshal. I wonder if they. It's a good card. Gives other creatures abilities as long as you have them.
Symbol as a hilt.
Yep, he's got the symbol in his hilt, and it's all sorts of lookalikes that one could mention about his art versus certain celebrities within the media that shall remain nameless here. Not the first time that we've had Magic cards that people have compared to people. Hey, look there. That's the Tammy's journal we were talking about earlier. You get a clue every turn, and then you can either just sacrifice those clues normally, or you can tap the journal and sacrifice 3 of them to go search for any card in your deck.
Yeah, I'll take that.
Yeah. Especially since you get the clue for free every turn. Diagraph Colossus. And here's some of the stuff that we just haven't had a whole lot of, and that's zombies. Because he enters the battlefield with a +1/+1 counter on it for each zombie card in your graveyard, and then whenever you cast a zombie spell, you get to put out a zombie token. It's not the best new zombie in the set, but he's definitely a fantastic piece for building an army.
Yeah. Prolific growth.
Yep, and I mean, if you're tossing your hand into the discard pile for, you know, that one zombie from before, well, it's like discard your hand,
Right.
draw a new one. Makes for some very nice zombie plays out of it. Another Rattle Chains. And wow.
And a foil one.
Yeah, that is a double Rattle Chains pack. Where were you in my sealed packs when we were playing sealed this last weekend? Makes me sad. Pretty awesome.
Not here?
Yeah, apparently that was, well, I wouldn't have gotten it out of box anyway. There's that confirmed suspicions again.
Yeah.
Once again, those not. Maybe if it drew a card and put out a couple of clues, might help, but the fact that you have to pay extra for the clues to draw afterwards is not worth it. Maybe.
Yeah. I like to slow it down. Oh. Nahiri.
Very, very angry Nahiri. Coming to wreck all of Soren's stuff. Indeed. Very nice card. Very fantastic. And, kind of out of things to say. There we go. Silver Fur Partisan. Now, whenever a wolf or a werewolf you control becomes the target of an instant or sorcery spell, you get to put out a 2/2 green wolf creature token onto the battlefield, which will probably see some fantastic play for some more werewolf-y type stuff going on.
There's a lot of people excited about the fact that they're going to be making their werewolf decks again.
Yep.
Bigger ones, bigger
For,
decks.
for modern, you'll probably get some play.
Now, is this a Planeswalker that's been out before?
She did get some press when she came out and the solid colored commander decks in 2014, I think. And she was just white then, not white red. And she was very token based. In this one, she's a little more angry, less building, a little more destructing.
She's gotten darker.
Angry at the very least. And whether or not that has anything to do with what's in the Eldritch Moon, we shall find out in the next set, hopefully.
Invocation of Saint Traft.
Yep. Who wouldn't want a 4/4 angel swinging with them every time they attack?
No, that would not be fun.
I bring help with me. And one of those Navali Moondrakes again. Pretty solid body in the air, but it's not a 7/7 that I can cast from my graveyard, right?
Right.
So, kind of got the order of those rare, mythic, rare, right? In the set.
Yes.
There's that Lava Axe again. Pair it with a Fiery Temper on the pack for 8 damage for 2 red.
Fever Visions.
Ooh. The fact that forces me of each player's and instead the player draws a card. And then if they're your opponent and they have 4 or more cards in hand, it deals 2 damage. It's like, here's an extra card, but make sure you are casting them all, because otherwise you're just going to take a bunch of damage from it. It'll be interesting to see if people try and force their opponents to draw a bunch of cards or get them out early. All right, here, not a whole lot else in the pack, but let's talk about this real quick.
Okay.
Triskadik. I'm not even going to try and get the pronunciation correct. I'm sure there are people out there who can pronounce them correctly, but seeing as how you can't show me on the internet how that works, I am going to...
Triskaidekaphobia?
Yeah. It's kind of a mess. And
That's fun.
at the beginning of your upkeep, you choose either gaining life or losing life, essentially, because regardless of which one you choose, anyone at exactly 13 life just loses the game. So you need to be really careful that your opponent doesn't set your life to 13 and then you kill yourself with it. But if you can get your opponent set there, it's way fun. And we'd totally love to see that kill somebody in a game. And then another enchantment specifically for wolves and werewolves that'll probably get some play. Each creature you control that's a wolf or werewolf gets +1/+1 and has trample with a flasher.
Yeah, that will probably
Have some
have some.
effect on the werewolf decks that we'll see
Yes.
in the future.
I would say so. That's kind of crazy looking.
Yep, scarecrows. Very dark horror-y type stuff. Yep, that's the
that's
fluid,
the, like,
fluid dropper and
Right.
brings out
Oh, there's another
more from
werewolf.
before.
Feature spells you cost.
Yep,
Cost 1 less.
yep, and then the fact that you can look at 4 creature spells with it helps for making for some powerful plays, especially since you can activate that in response to it flipping on your upkeep
Okay.
to go looking for creature spells. Then we have a Drawnir Temple.
I haven't seen that yet.
Well, it's the fact that you can return it from your graveyard to the battlefield tapped allows you to play it in a deck where you're going to be discarding a bunch of stuff, very delirium-y,
Okay.
and then you can bring it back for mana if you need it. It's important in the lore for some reason that is we're not sure on yet, but everything apparently points to the Drawnir Temple. So it is a decided focal point for the happenings on Innistrad. This block around.
Let's see. Angel of Deliverance. Haven't seen that one yet.
Big old 8-drop, 6/6 flyer.
Oh no, did you have one of those down there?
Yep,
You did, didn't you? I did see.
definitely want some delirium going on for it though. Other things.
More land.
Nice little fast lane. Another fortified village. I think you pulled one of those earlier. I think.
Yes, I think so. I pulled several of them.
Yep, you got a
actually.
port town and the red-green one. Something about trails, I think. Slayer's plate. There was a collar in the first set that was very similar. It gave your creature +1/+0 vigilance, and if you're a human, gave you an additional +1/+1. And then whenever a creature died, it gave you a spirit, I believe. And this one is just much more punchy, but you're paying more for it on the front end. I mean, we do get the enemy color lands, but they're slower. They enter the battlefield tapped. There's no way for you to get them out faster. I get a Slayer's plate as well. Look at me go.
Big old foil.
Yep, and a nice fiery temper foil. You know, in case you're discarding your lands and want a lightning bolt for. One of those best little volatilities. And a brain in the jar.
Brain in the jar. Researcher.
Into the just the wind. Nice madness blue to return things. Oh, got a port town.
Uh-oh. What do we see?
Ooh.
Big
Arlen
card.
Cord. Another of their I look like a celebrity arts.
I look like a celebrity arts.
Once again, we're going to keep the celebrities nameless, and I'm sure that all of you watching online probably have your own suspicions. And she's a pretty fantastic card. A lot of people very excited for a werewolf planeswalker. Fortunately, we didn't get a legendary planeswalker, a legendary werewolf yet. That will allow werewolf
Commander.
EDH. Yeah, a commander.
Yeah, that'll be pretty big news when that happens.
Yeah. Good stuff. Yep, allows you to investigate for 4, which is draw a card for 6, but with all the clue stuff is really nice. Game Trail, that was the green red.
That's what it was.
Yep. Rabid Bite. That one is as close to a straight up green removal spell as you get without giving them beasts.
Oh,
That-
okay.
Doesn't even fight. It's just deals damage to a target creature you don't control. Pow! Right in the kisser. Oh, look at that.
Another one.
Another Nahiri. Woohoo! Nice stuff from the piles.
Oh, look at the little foxy.
Indeed, he's not quite little though.
No.
Not with a 3 tough power.
3
Either that or he's like the rabbit from Monty Python. Run away! Run away!
Big nasty pointy teeth.
Look at the bones, man.
The bones! Yeah, precisely. Which, that could just be it. Always watching. Once again, that enchantment that gives all your creatures +1/+1 in vigilance as long as they're not tokens.
As long as they're not tokens.
Yep. In the initial Innistrad set was one called Intangible Virtue that gave all your tokens +1/+1 in vigilance.
Okay.
And this one
I think
is
I've seen that
all your
card.
non-token creatures.
You think you'll see a lot of the
Token
original
decks.
Innistrad in with these new ones in modern decks?
Especially in werewolves, yes, just by virtue of the fact that, you know, werewolves looks for more werewolves because they all play well together. I don't know how much tokens are going to run. There's a really good token base within the Innistrad that they really didn't print a lot more of. But you're definitely going to see some zombies from the original Innistrad put together with zombies from this Innistrad, and probably some vampires. We'll see some play together with delirium and madness and all that sort. Traverse the...
There's the Ulven wide.
Yes. I'm glad that you nailed that because I was about to slaughter it. It is one of those, again, delirium type cards.
Yep.
You search for a basic land. Unfortunately, you put it in your hand.
Yeah, rather than into play.
But the benefit of this one is as long as you have delirium, you can search for any type of land card or a creature card. Which, while it's not great without delirium, it makes for some very fantastic plays. It may end up getting
Cost
some...
one.
Yep, for one. Very ancient stirrings-esque, and maybe Tron may get some use out of it if it can delirium it out. Another Hanley Militia Captain. Nice stuff. Making me jealous out of those boxes. Ooh. We're onto the floorboards. One of those scaling madnesses.
Okay.
You get 3 zombies if you don't, otherwise you get X zombies in X Life. Where this basically sets it at 3, and if you madness it, you get to scale it how you like. Got some of those going around. Better hurry up. Maybe you better open a couple of packs, because otherwise I'm gonna beat you done over here, and then you're gonna have to talk about it all yourself. Or I'll have to help you open it. I wouldn't want to steal all your pack opening.
That's okay.
All right.
I don't like to talk.
You don't like to talk? All right.
Welcome to
All
the
right.
fold.
Yeah, it's...
I've seen that one already.
Yeah, it's a little interesting. Just the fact that you gain control of a creature, the fact that the toughness has to be 2 or less, makes it not necessarily something you would get so much greatness out of from the blue cost. But if you could madness it out, you could just choose that X cost. And it's not the greatest gain control of the creature, but the fact that it makes it a sorcery means you just gain control of it. There's no way they can destroy the enchantment that you gain control of it, like mind control or something like that. So it really locks it in, and once you gain control, you got it. It's yours. Got another Silent Visitor. We got a Thing in the Ice, which is a horrifying 0/4 initially, and then
Or
comes
2.
in with 4 ice counters. And you have to pay cast instant sorceries to flip it around. And as you do, it transforms into a 7/8. But when it transforms, it returns all non-horror creatures to their owner's hands.
Well, that's
Which
never going to hit because blue doesn't do instants or sorceries at all.
Oh, no, definitely. Blue is just bad at instants and sorceries. That's definitely not something they're really good at. That said, I have to say one of my favorite cards of this set has got to be this guy. Daring Sleuth. Once you sacrifice a clue, you transform him. He's got all those skittering lanterns that you may have seen around your local comic shop.
I like that.
Becomes prowess, and then
Prowess,
whenever he deals damage to a player, you investigate. Get more clues.
Get more clues?
Yep.
Do you have to flip them over when you do that?
No, you only flip him over when he sacrifices the first clue on that side. There's nothing on that
Reflip.
that flips him back over.
Nice. Beyond the Beyond? Hold the Beyond, sorry. Discard your hand.
Then search your library for 3 cards, put them into your hand, and shuffle your library.
So it's a very expensive, bumped up tutor.
Yeah, but it's going to get a ton of play in black EDH decks. They're just like, and I've only got a couple. Look at, yeah. Hey, I've only got a couple of cards left in my hand. I'm just going to go get the 3 that I want for my deck. Or, I don't even care about these things because I'm just going to go get some Reanimator spells and cast them for way less.
That's true.
And another Soul Swallower in foil.
In foil.
You make me so jealous. Like, super jealous.
Magic your pack.
Magic my pack. Magic my magic pack. Let's see if I get something fantastic with Lisa's Magic my magic pack.
No.
I have a... No. Wait for it. See, I've got a Brain in the Jar here. But if you can see, I've got 2 suns here, and neither of them are foil. So that means that this Sage of Ancient Lore is a rare.
Nice.
Werewolf. Now, what he does is his power and toughness are equal to the number of cards in your hand. And then when he enters the battlefield, you draw a card. Now, you want to make sure he's not the last card out of your hand, because there's no time for you to draw that card before he'll die if you cast him as the last card. So you want to make sure you keep at least 1 card in your hand when you cast him. So he'll go down to a 1/1, you'll draw the card, and become a 2/2. Then, at the beginning of your upkeep, if no spells were cast, you transform him, just like any other werewolf. Gains Vigilance and Trample, and instead of his power and toughness being equal to the cards in your hand, it's in both players' hands.
Okay.
So, you're looking at a ridiculously huge werewolf. Especially if you play him in, say, I don't know, EDH, where 8 million people all want to draw as many cards as possible.
They want to hold on to him too.
Yep, so he becomes this huge Vigilance, Trample, beast that just beats people.
What is the one that the land that allows you to keep your
Yep.
hand tower? Is it the tower?
Yep. Reliquary Tower, Spell Book. There's a Vessel of Thought, I think,
There's
is a new one.
one.
Yep. Another inexorable blob. He is indeed a very blobby blob. The fact that he puts up his oozes, tapped and attacking, and then those oozes aren't removed at end of combat, means he just keeps getting bigger once you get to Delirium. So it's a really nice run to Delirium, and then go wide strategy. Nice Lightning X in there. Look at Bygone Bishop. He is going to be very interesting to see whether or not he does some absolutely ridiculous stuff with a lot of quick, white weenie style strategy, or if he gets a little more concerted clue play. But he's definitely going to do some things, I think.
Always watching.
Yep. Once again, that non-token creatures vigilance and +1/+1 kind of enforces that white weenies style of play together.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
It's always been a huge.
Yep. Anything that buffs him, gives him any abilities. Vigilance is a great one. Got a corrupted grab. Let's try that again with an F this time. Graph Stone for that mana for all you Delirium players. Oh, and I suppose it also helps you cast those. There's a whole bunch of creatures that you have activated abilities from the graveyard.
Oh yeah.
To either put out tokens and exile the cards and stuff.
Oh, haunted cloak.
Yep. Nice little vigilance, trample, haste. Doesn't give a hexproof, but we've got a ton of hexproof enchantments running around in the equipments running around.
Angel of Deliverance, another one.
Yep. Nice little angel. Well, little.
Big angel.
It's one of the ones that people are going to bring back, I think. Ooh, I have my own inexorable blob now.
There you go.
And I have one of the most ridiculous and convoluted activations ever in Sinister Concoction.
The top card of your library into your graveyard. Discard a card.
And, yeah, you just pay the black, and a life, and the top card, and you discard a card, and you sacrifice this enchantment to destroy target creature.
No.
Hey, it could be worth it.
If you have nothing else.
I mean, you have to sacrifice that and a card from your hand, and it's not necessarily great card advantage, but the fact that it straight up destroys something.
Another Rattle Chains.
Indeed, another Rattle Chains. All of the flashing in blue beats in the air for you.
Oh, blue. I love you.
Indeed. Stitched Mangler. This is like one of my favorite little zombie dudes. He's a 3-drop, and then when he enters the battlefield, you tap target creature an opponent controls, and that creature doesn't untap during its control's next untap step. So he enters tapped, but the fact that he taps something else down, it's almost like, all right, hold on, we're just gonna take a nap real quick here, you and me. We're just not gonna do anything. I just think it's funny. Either that or he's falling off the wall on somebody's head.
Humpty was pushed.
Another Flame Blade Angel. Which in addition to being a nice 4/4 flyer, can allow you to get into a shooting match with your opponent if you both have one. Pew 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 pew.
Just came down from there.
Devil Playground.
Those 4/4, or excuse me, those 4/1/1 devils
Yeah.
at Sorcery Seed. And there's a 4-drop that puts up 2 of them. It's an instant in the set as well. You know, if you want to put up a bunch of double tokens. Seeing as how they're brand new.
Maybe they'll expand it with the next set then.
Yep, maybe we'll get some more doubles. Be interesting to see some red and white with like the old Innistrad Intangible Virtue, making 2/2 Vigilance Devils that when they die do damage.
Whoops.
I mean, funny flavor going on there, but Burn from Within. The fact that it's a It's not even a blaze effect. It's because you can target a creature or a player. It'd be a nice win condition, a nice removal effect, and because it causes them to lose indestructible
Destructible, right.
and causes them to be exiled if they would die, it does some pretty nasty things. We'll see if that'll kill some Avacynths in the future. An EDH probably.
Ever after, another
Yep.
one.
Zombie couple on the
Zombie
back.
love?
They will. Yep, zombie love. Their love is forever.
Ew.
Zombie
Our love is forever. And brains.
and brains. In a jar.
Maybe.
Not for long.
We'll have to see if those two work together. Brains in a jar, zombie love.
Oh, I didn't mean working together.
Well, I don't know. Maybe his brain is in a jar. Or is it hers? She might have been the brainy one. Another prized amalgam in the set. And we also have, sneaking behind here, that elusive tormentor,
Oh.
which is a nice little dodge attacks, dodge removal by transforming him. Giving him hexproof, indestructible,
Ooh.
dodge world wipes, all sorts of stuff. I mean, you have to discard a card to do it, but there's enough madness in the set that that's not a big deal. And then when he attacks and isn't blocked, you can pay 2 and a block, and if you do, you transform it. So he can't be blocked. I swing him, I transform him into a 4/4, hit you, you cast a spell to get rid of him, I transform him back.
Fun.
Yeah. Nice little fun with vampires that turn into invisible smoke. Nice flavor to go along with it.
It's gaseous form.
Yep.
To the slaughter. Sacrifices a creature of my marker. Yep.
Yep.
That one again too.
And it does, they are forced to sacrifice a creature and a planeswalker if you have delirium. I'm crazy, my spell does more.
They have to see whether what's going on. I don't know. I haven't paid attention to it.
Yeah.
If it's a double hunt, we have to put.
I guess I didn't realize the and/or difference. It didn't click. It clicks now.
And we gotta get.
Got nice foreboding runes to finish out that box.
And you gotta have screen up.
Nice stuff to go along with.
Mm-hmm.
We'll have to.
So you may be wondering oh, go ahead. What you got? What you got? No, you're opening packs. I don't want to stop people from seeing packs.
Alter ego.
Yep, the clone that's bigger than yours. Anything you can do, I can do better.
We didn't need that, did we?
I can do anything better than you.
Again.
Yes, I can. So you, some of our viewers may be wondering how you can get your hands on some Shadows of Innistrad. Check out our website. All the cards over here that you're seeing being opened will be up on the website unless someone beats you to them. Plus, we'll have our own Shadows of Innistrad that's going to be up at our website at excelsiorgnc.com, so you can get your own Shadows of Innistrad boxes, intro packs.
Fat
I don't know.
packs.
Yep, fat packs. And, Olivia mobilized for war. She's a nasty vampire lady that lets you madness away anything. Just, throw away a card, give your creatures that are in her. Makes them vampires, gives them +1/+1. Haste until end of turn. Good stuff. Well, thank you. It's that new pack smell.
It is.
Everyone loves that new pack smell.
It's ploy. It has been. We've been talking about that for years, ever since the game came out. That they put something
In the packs?
in the cards that make them smell that way, so that way you are addicted to the smell and therefore must open more packs.
It's not just the smell of the new ink.
It's the card smell. It's the pack smell.
It is indeed a fantastic smell.
Angel of Deliverance.
Yep.
Yet again, there's probably a playset in this pile already now, or pretty close to.
What's that? Looking to get the. Okay.
What are we doing?
We just got our producer wanting to make sure that we're getting our Excelsior logo in there. Nice,
Right.
fantastic.
Sorry.
No, it's just not quite sure what he's talking about until I figured it out. Kind of those off-camera conversations that are fun to have. And that'll be
Could've
the
just
last
said-
one over here. Everything else
Okay.
that we have will be going for the online store type stuff. All right, kind of blazing past turns are commons and uncommons. There'll be plenty for you guys to have look at shit on. So why don't you just leave that there? I will reach over. I have long orangutan arms. Well, I mean, if we're orangutan, we're not orange, but we're in fact, a darker, more brownish black shade. To go
Dark
with it.
orangutan.
A dark orangutan.
Dark orangutan.
Where albino orangutan.
That's the opposite of dark.
Got another flame blade angel, so we can play pew pew games, shooting each other.
I kill you, you kill me.
Very, very much so. It's, but it's a definite fun thing to have. I don't know if we'll see anything running it in constructed, but it is definitely a bomb in limited. Pieces of the puzzle.
Put up to 2 instant or sorcery cards from among them into your hand and the rest in your graveyard.
Yep. If you're really looking to cast those instants and sorceries, it lets you dig 5. But if you don't have instants and sorceries, you're gonna toss a whole. You're gonna be pitching a whole bunch. So you're definitely good for some delirium type stuff. Ooh, another incantation of Saint Draft. And look at you with your rare werewolves that like you to have more cards in hand.
Blue green deck wouldn't be.
Yeah, blue to help refill your hand and
Yeah.
do some things. I think there's also a werewolf. Is he the one that's?
Transform.
No, there's another werewolf in the set that's green that says whenever your opponent casts a spell on your turn, you draw a card. And then when it transforms, it has the same ability except you draw 2 cards. So
Nice.
some nice. All right, you're gonna play in my turn. Well, I'm gonna get bigger because you said you wanted to cast a spell type stuff. So definitely some nice bonus for your time going on. Got another fortified village.
Nice.
Nice green white going on.
Okay. There's a slot.
Not a big deal.
So,
No?
Hellpecker.
okay.
Just checking out some of the other cards.
Yeah, there are definitely some fantastic instances and sorceries. Yes, those.
Spoil
But
Crow.
also, yep,
I like
Zombie
it.
Crow.
Oh, okay.
I like the Zombie Crow.
He makes you discard things. There are definitely some great commons and uncommons in the set that we aren't even getting to in our unboxing, as we are blazing through them. Plenty of equipment within the last couple of sets.
Ooh, there's the Jace.
And there he is,
Bum, 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 bum.
with Mickey Mouse himself.
I've been hearing things about him for weeks now.
Yeah, it's a very, he's a very blue card, and in the sense that he gets some nice card advantage on the plus. Scry 1
Draw
and
one.
draw a card for his plus.
Always
It's
fun.
-2 returns a creature. I think we saw that last on Jace the Mind Sculptor, where you just had a return to their understand, but I think it might have been only a -1 at that point. And then his -8 definitely allows you to seize control of the game by forcing your opponent to cast 2 spells on a turn to get one through. Because he
Fun.
counters the first one
Yeah.
on each turn. And then we got a To the Slaughter in foil. So, force people to discard some cards.
Nice.
Indeed.
It's happiness.
And we're not taking
Another eerie interlude.
Yeah. I like Area of the Interlude. It's going to have some definite boon effects going around. A lot of people, there are a ton of world wipes going around the last couple of sets, and that will be probably played in some go wide strategies in an attempt to ensure that their board stays, or maybe just to catch a couple of creatures that you really need. Got a nice Harness the Storm.
Oh, I haven't seen that yet. Or I don't
Yep,
remember.
we haven't run through it yet. Harness the Storm specifically is whenever you cast an instant or sorcery from your hand, you may cast a target card with the same name as that spell from your graveyard. Meaning you still have to pay for that cost to cast it, but if you cast one spell and you have got another copy in your graveyard, you can pay and cast that as well. Probably get
Nice.
played in some red decks to make sure they have a little extra gas. Lightning Bolt, and I cast the Lightning Bolt out of my graveyard. So definitely allows for some very nasty modern play. You'll probably get some more modern play than standard play, given the choice between the two. Lunark Marshal, indeed, he is very nice at giving all your creatures all of the abilities that you have at your disposal. Ulvenwald Hydra.
Huh.
This guy is, thus far I don't think we've had a whole ton of Hydras going in Innistrad before, but this guy comes back and makes sure that you know that there are some Hydras. The fact that he gets reach is always a boon on a big green creature.
Yep.
His power and toughness are each equal to the number of lands you control, which makes for some very nice. With green, you're searching for land anyway. And then when he enters the battlefield, you can search your library for a land card, put it on the battlefield, tap, and shuffle your library. So if you with green ramped up to 6 lands, dropped them on earlier than turn 6, obviously, probably turn
Right.
4, and now turn 4 you've got a 7/7 Hydra with reach that you're going to be making bigger every time you drop a land.
Yeah.
That's good stuff. And I mean, in EDH, when you have 8 million land, going with your 8 million card hand.
Oh, choker estuary.
Yep, the nice black blue required combo color.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you. I'm just pulling some packs out, making sure that I'm not blocking the.
Pretty.
Yes. And go ahead. While I'm divvying up packs so that they can get all handed out. Checking out those arts.
Yeah.
It's one of our vampires, I believe. I think that one's actually on a red card. One of the rare ones that we haven't seen yet. So maybe now that you've looked at him, he'll be in that pack. Maybe. We'll see.
Brianna's indignation.
Another Tamio's Journal.
Yay.
It's a fantastic
I like
piece
it.
of control. Absolutely ridiculous to play against in a sealed event, just because they're getting so much. Alright, here is quite possibly one of the best zombies I've ever seen printed. First off, just by the stats, you're paying 2 for a 2/2 black zombie.
Good luck.
When he dies, you can pay a black, and if you do, you return it to its owner's hands.
see you in the
Which
next meeting.
hopefully is you if you're planning on paying that. But you also have the option to, when he dies, pay an X. If you do, return another target zombie creature with that converted mana cost from your graveyard to the battlefield. So he dies, he brings another zombie back to take his place, and he returns to your hand. If you are willing to pay the costs, he is one of the most ridiculous zombies ever, and he is definitely going to see some play with the old zombies from Innistrad.
From anywhere.
Yeah, we've seen tons of zombies, and he
They're
is
coming
going
back.
to be one of the best. Plus, that art is very reminiscent of, I believe, one of the previous cards in Innistrad, which is, I believe, an enchantment that said anytime. Was it at the end of your turn if you control a zombie, you put out a zombie, or something along those lines? There was that stained glass window we have seen before, and there were zombies up against it, and now we have
it
it
again.
busted through. Yep, they made it through. Burn from within.
It's there again.
Oh, and a startle awake. That mills 13, and then
Yeah. That's
flips
always
around,
fun.
makes himself into a dude, pokes you, and then happens again.
Nice.
What have we got? What have we got? We've got drug school cavalry. This is one of the better spirits in the set, I'd say. It's a big cost to get him down. But whenever another spirit enters the battlefield under control, you gain 2 life. Now he has a pay for to put out a spirit with flying. So he just brings and gives you 2 life every turn. So a lot of advantage. And definitely look for him in the sealed event. Just for the endless flyers that he brings out that you could block with, gain life with them, they come in. Really good
Right.
stuff. The fork in the road.
Yeah, just checking it out.
Yep, lets you pitch a land in, and look at you, another drugstore cavalry.
There's 2.
And a Westvale Abbey.
And
Look
another
at you.
Abbey.
Is that like the 3rd one you pulled?
Yes. And
Look
one
at
of
you
them was
go.
a foil.
Yeah,
One of
yeah,
the
it
other
was.
ones, so there's 3 now.
Definitely looking to pick those up. And Shambleback. Exiles a target creature card from a graveyard. Put a 2/2 black zombie creature token on the battlefield, and you gain 2 life.
What? For
black.
1?
For 1. Yep.
So there's a excuse to play it, really.
Yeah. I mean, you have to have a creature card in a graveyard to use it.
Why can't they do that for blue?
Well, I mean, we've already been over this. Blue doesn't get good instants and sorceries. Remember? We talked about that earlier. Deathcat Cultivator, once again, for the green or the black, and then Death Touch.
Yep.
It's
It's kind of nice to
nice
see.
2 power. Not exactly the best mana acceleration, but
No. Specific.
you don't always get a Death Touch blocker if you don't, need the mana for something else from a
Right.
normal birds or tap for mana type. Yep, they
That's pretty
madness out for
interesting.
2 less.
Yep.
Nice 3/5.
Engulf the shore.
And I do believe that hermit right there of the Natternolls, that's the one that's whenever your opponent casts a spell during your turn, you draw a card, and then it flips around, you get 2 of them, I believe. Yep.
Oh, I thought it was a. I haven't checked out the set
Yep.
before
but,
now, so.
But
I
we
thought it was
mentioned
a
the
rare.
werewolf
Right.
that draws the cards, and so saw it, made sure we pointed it out. Now, this one gets a mention, as it is a 6/6/4/6 that can't attack unless you cast a non-creature spell this turn. But I think the last time we saw a 6/6 in blue that was along those lines was a Visordrix. If
Remember that card.
you'll remember Visordrix.
I actually do remember that card.
Which, along with Trade Dorg, is kind of a joke in and to itself with a lot of players. He's great for sealed if you've got some cards to cast and do some stuff. And then Addison's Judgment, which is another one of those scaling madness cards. And it splits up the damage as you choose. In our second to last pack, are we going to get that vampire that we were talking about? He's, I don't
Maybe
know.
he's in your pack.
Maybe. Well, there's an enchantment that does it. Whenever a vampire deals damage to a player, you get put a +1/+1 counter on the vampire. That's what that enchantment does. There's another vampire in the set that does a very similar effect, and that was the face that we were looking at before.
You have the Cryptolith
Turning all your creatures into mana. The Kindly Stranger.
Yeah.
She's the Kindly Stranger flips over and gets rid of something. Or
right.
transforms
Destroy
into.
target creature.
Yep. You need to have Delirium to be able to flip it around, but it is a nasty little piece of removal to keep on the board. Threaten your opponent with. And
We're leaving on a.
Fevered Vision. So, once again, that draws some cards, and if your opponent can't play out their hand fast enough, they start taking some damage. So,
Nice.
that's what we had in our unboxing. Definitely check out some of our stuff at Excelsior Games and Comics. And what's that?
We'll catch you next time.
We'll catch you next time.